Somewhere in the mix, the couple had an argument, causing James to snap. He kidnapped his BM and put hands on her. So bad, she lost 3 of the 4 babies. One of his homeboys walked into the station. He had a guilty conscience. He stated the night of the concert, James called him and said, "Bro, I messed up again."
Show your face. Show your face, please. With sugar on top.
Now y'all know we like bringing awareness to these type of stories that we could all learn from some way, somehow. Whether you're a male or female, we can all take heed from these stories when it comes to these relationships that we see that either lead to someone getting seriously hurt or even worse, fatal. Hopefully when you see the signs in any situation that you are in, you can identify them quick enough before they escalate. So this is one of the reasons why we like to highlight these type of situations. Now today, we have a crazy story. Ladies, could you imagine being with a man for just 3 months and yet he decides to take your life because another man calls your phone? Now I know some men are probably going to say, well, if they were together, then why would she have another man calling her phone? And that's a good point. However, in the fairy tale world, we would love to believe that our partners aren't in contact with any men once we're with them and it's just us. But in the world of reality, if you've only been with someone for 3 months, there's still going to be guys trying to come back into their life, whether it's calling, texting, or sometimes even trying to pop up at a woman's house when she's ignoring them. It doesn't always mean she's giving them attention, and you know, sometimes these girls got these exes or crazy baby daddies or whoever that they've been with in the past. But even if she is messing with somebody, right? Once again, just because y'all been dating or hitting it off for 3 months, don't mean she's yours unless y'all are fully committed. It be like that sometimes. But at the end of it all, nothing warrants you to take somebody's life, neither. Simple as that. You could leave, you could be mad, whatever. But that doesn't mean you either put your hands on them or take their life. Now here we have a Gary, Indiana couple who went out on a night of having fun. They was all on social media together, the whole 9 yards. Then tragedy struck that same night when a man would take her life, all because he went through her phone while she was asleep and seen messages from another guy. We're going to get into the story. Shout out to Tony 2Times TV. I'll leave a link to the original video for y'all to check out on their platform if you enjoy the video. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
When we first meet a person and decide we are feeling them, we want to take it to the next level and jump into a relationship, you never know who you are really getting. Everybody leads off with their representative. They present the best version of themselves so you can feel comfortable and let your guard down. Of course, if a person walked up to you and said, "My name is such and such. I'm jealous, possessive, insecure, a little bit throwed off, and if you play with me, I will hurt you," that would be enough.
Could you imagine that? Right? Could you imagine if somebody came to you as their original self and told you, "Listen, I come with baggage. I got this, I got that. I got 5 baby mothers. One or 2 of them that come after me from time after time. I'm negative $1,000 million in debt. My credit score is at a 450. Imagine if people kept it real like that at first sight. Do y'all think that a lot of people would be in love as they say they are? Do you think some people just wouldn't care? They'll still go forward with it? Let us know in the comments.
To make even the most hopeless romantic say, "Nah, I'm good." Relationships should be built on trust. But as we get older and we have been through a few of them, some people go through situations that change their perspectives. For example, if you constantly are being cheated on with partners, that could cause insecurities. And even if you think you have moved on and let that pain go, that baggage and pain can carry on into the next relationship. I'm sure we all know that one couple, they check locations, pull up to spots their partners say they at, pop up at jobs, or the thing that has broken up a lot of relationships and marriages, going through that phone.
In which I don't understand that, right? I feel, and this could be just, maybe it's just me. Y'all let me know in the comments. As you get older, you don't do that stuff anymore. That's high school, right? That's junior high. That's like, who has time to say, listen, I'm in a relationship with you, whether it's a relationship or a marriage, and I want to go through your phone, right? When you already have that preconceived notion that you want to do something like that, already in your head, you already setting yourself up to see something you don't want to see, because else not, why go through their phone, right? Why ask to go through their phone if you don't expect to see something that you don't want to see, right? Nobody just says, oh, I want to go through your phone because I trust you so much. So that's already weird. But not only that, those are just high school games. My thing is this: if I got to do all that, then I don't need to be with you.
For some, they feel like their phones are their personal private devices. They should be able to have in there whatever they want to with no worries. But depending on your partner, that might not be the case. Some people want you all to themselves. No friends, communicating with exes, old pictures. And if they find out otherwise, you never know how they will react. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Gary, Indiana, to discuss the case of a man who went through his girl's phone, and what he found made him snap. Back in 2019, 27-year-old sidne-nichole Buckingham, nicknamed Sid by family and friends, was on top of the world. Described as bubbly, outgoing, with a smile that could change the energy in a room. The young lady had made a great life for herself. She was a mother first, but she was living in her dream with a career.
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you. All right. So seeing these pictures, let me say off rip, man. And I see this a lot. Fellas, if you one of them guys where you not secure with yourself, but yet you want a bad girl that looks finer than ever, let me tell you right now, it's not going to work. It's not. So just eliminate the stress, the depression, everything. Just get you a ugly duckling. What the Spanish people call it? The tortas. Get you a torta. Yeah, torta, however you say it. Get you one of those, because it's not going to work for you. When you have a pretty girl, what's going to happen is you're always consistently going to have guys either trying to talk to her, look at her, the whole 9 yards. If you know you can't take that, that's not the woman for you. Especially if she have either a big butt or big breasts, whatever it is. And then not only that, if you meet her online and she got those type of pictures out there, you already know what you're getting yourself into. Save the time. But like I said, man, if you don't want guys looking at your girl, then you might as well just get you an ugly duck.
As a dance instructor, big on health, taking care of herself, going to the gym. That's what she was teaching her students, mixed in with a lot of fun, but definitely discipline. Her personality gained Sidney a lot of attention.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Listen, I was going to say more, just it is what it is.
On social media, and she became an influencer. The beautiful young lady would gain followers who admired her lifestyle. But on a personal note, outside of work, she never had a problem catching the attention of men. Beautiful in shape, Sidney had the pick of the litter. She would catch the eye of a 38-year-old man named James McGee. The older gentleman led off with respect.
Look at my boy McGee. He lucky he even got her. Right? Look at her. And let me tell y'all, the world we living in today, where you got guys throwing money, they're leading with money. Most of them don't got game. They don't got none of that. But they got money. And they're willing to spend it for their ego, just to make themselves look like something, right? To compensate for the things or the qualities that they lack. So when you look at her and you see the type of body and now the physical features she had, clearly she could have almost any guy she want. But she picked my boy here, McGee.
He courted her by asking her out on dates and treated Sidney right. So the two would decide to jump into a relationship and make it official. But James had a shaky past with women. A few years prior, he was in a relationship with a lady who we will call Shay for the sake of the story. And she was carrying quadruplets for him, pregnant with 4 babies at once. Somewhere in the mix, the couple had an argument, causing James to snap. He kidnapped his BM and put hands on her. So bad, she lost 3 of the 4 babies.
Sheesh. Now, here's the thing, right? We know that he's not going to tell her this. We know that he's not going to tell any new girl that he meet that he beat a girl so bad once that she lost 3 out of the 4 kids that they had together. We know this. But at the end of the day, like he said in the beginning, if guys was to come off and tell exactly, and guys or girls, exactly what they about and what they've been through in their past, I doubt the opposite person would definitely want to mess with them. And when you look at certain people, they don't look like what they've been through. He didn't look like he did that. Or did he?
He was charged, but pled out in 2017 to everything and was given a 3-year suspended sentence.
Wow.
And was placed on probation. Now still on probation, he was moving on with Sidney. It's unclear if she knew about his past, but she did know he worked hard, had his own place, and treated her right. About 3 months into the relationship, the couple decided they would have a fun night out on the town. There was a concert coming up with some big names performing, like Wiz Khalifa. So on July 27th, 2019, they went to Tinley Park in Illinois to the concert. Everything was going good. The couple even went live, showing how much fun they was having.
Wow.
And after that, they headed back to James' apartment in Gary. But that was the last time Sidney was seen, and the last social media post she would ever make. Family and friends quickly noticed something wasn't right. She would never leave her kids unattended and not show up for work. So her family reported the young lady missing. As more information came out about her whereabouts the day she went missing, police quickly realized she was last seen at a concert with James. But they wouldn't have to wait for answers much longer. One of his homeboys walked into the station. He had a guilty conscience. He stated the night of the concert, James called him and said, "Bro, I messed up again. Bad this time. I need your help."
Again. See what he said? And not only that, once again, the police or whoever that took care of that case need to be held accountable or responsible somehow, some way. Too many times we done heard of these DV cases where the police was called or it was an order of protection put out. Somehow they still released whoever the suspect was. And then next thing you know, that suspect end up killing the victim afterwards. After they already got an order of protection or called the police, they end up killing them. And it's crazy because if you pay attention, they said that he just basically made her lose 3 out of 4 babies. To be honest with you, he should have been charged with M, right? Because you took the lives of 3 babies. 3 babies was not able to be born because you put hands on the mother. That sounds like M to me. So why was he released on just 3 years probation?
He asked, like, "What's wrong, bro?" And he claimed James told him, "I'm about to take myself out. I put hands on my girl and it's bad. She not breathing or moving." And sent his homie a picture of Sidney laying in the bed. For whatever reason, his friend decided to go over and help James out. That's when he noticed James had put Sidney in a suitcase and was cleaning the apartment. James told him they had went to the concert. They were both tipsy and Sidney went in the room to lay down. James noticed a number had called her phone. It caught his attention. He opened her phone and went through it. Inside the phone, he found explicit photos of her and an ex-boyfriend and decided to call the man and confront him. After the phone conversation, he went to the room where Sidney was at, and that's where James told his homie he blacked out and started putting hands on her.
Keep in mind, she was asleep, right? She was asleep. Whenever he went back in the room to do whatever he did, put quote unquote hands on her, where he beat her so bad that she passed away, she was asleep. So imagine you just went out, had fun, you know, you thinking this is going to go somewhere, because keep in mind, they only been seeing each other for 3 months. So you see, they said an ex called her. Things like that will happen. It's only been 3 months. There's no telling how long she been involved with the other guy. But he went in there, put hands on her so bad, and then she lost her life. Crazy.
He told him he needed his help, and they drove the body to a nature preserve in Illinois, and James dumped the suitcase dead. At first, police didn't believe the story. Detectives went to the park with a search team, and unfortunately, it was all true. They found Sydney, just as the friend explained, already gone. Her family, sadly, only could identify her by a tattoo. For him coming forward, the friend was granted immunity, and police went to James' apartment with a search warrant.
Oh, nah. Nah, he played a part in that. Yeah, he might have had this quote-unquote guilty conscience, but he played a part in it. He played a role. I don't care what guilty conscience. He helped. He was an accessory. Now, granted, if he would have never spoke, they would have never found the body. I get it. But nah, he played too much of a role in that.
They were let in by the apartment staff, and they instantly smelt the strong odor of bleach and other cleaning supplies. And it looked like he had replaced the mattress. Now James was a wanted man for taking his girlfriend's life. He was tracked down and arrested driving on the highway in Illinois. He was taken into custody and charged with first-degree hit and also other charges as well. He was held on a no bail. Sydney's family was devastated and left to grieve. James' lawyer told the judge at his first court hearing the case was all hearsay. He never admitted to anything. It was no evidence he hurt Sydney, and they claimed they was just judging a man off his past. Wow. As James sat awaiting trial, wildly enough, the judge released him on a box. They stated the prosecutors were taking too long to bring the case to trial.
See? See what I'm saying? Just like the first time. So he beat his other girlfriend up, or would-be baby mother, so bad that she lost 3 out of 4 kids. They let him out on 3 years probation. Then next thing you know, he get with a girl within just 3 months. It didn't take her life because he beat her so bad, and yet they let him off on a box. Crazy.
And now James was a free man, pending his court date. But that wouldn't last long though. As the trial date came, prosecutors painted a picture of a jealous, controlling man who had issues in all his relationships with multiple charges of DV. And when he saw Sydney's on again and off again ex-boyfriend call and the pictures in her phone, that jealousy turned into rage. His friend was the key witness, and with that was enough to find James guilty on all charges, and he was sentenced to 80 years in prison. Rest in peace to Sydney. I send my prayers and condolences to her family and kids. They was only together 3 months. In my opinion, that's too fresh, and sometimes people linger around, like exes. Pictures might still be in phones, not deleted, or phone numbers. If it was 3 years, that would be different. She probably was weighing out her options, just in case her and James didn't work out.
And that's the truth. It was just 3 months, right? It's not like 3 years or even a year. It was 3 months. What if it didn't work out with him, right? And like I said, 3 months. So at the end of the day, he definitely jumped the gun, but this was his anger. This was him. This is what he did. Just like he did to the previous girl, where he beat her so bad that she lost 3. I can't not keep saying this, because I don't see how he made her lose 3 kids and yet they still let him out on probation. Crazy. And then he went on to do something like this. So at some point, hopefully in the future, police could also be held accountable when things like this happen, and maybe they'll get a little tougher on certain cases, because it's too much DV cases where it's been presented, and then afterwards, when the suspect is let out, he or she ends up taking the life of the victim, just like they was in there for, right? So I don't know, man. This is a crazy story. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.